Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Championship. TSM, 7-time winners of the LCS, have clapped Cloud9 in Game 1 of the series. It was a shellacking. The barn was burned. Yes, it was.
What else you got?
A humdinger.
It was a real humdinger.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was submission. It was a knockout. It was TSM. Absolutely the better team in Game 1. Spica and their reads. If you missed Crumb's segment on the analyst desk about how they read the entire plan for level 5, tracking the wards and countering the dive, that was amazing. TSM were prepared to play. Cloud9 fought back a little bit. Now we go to Game 2. We switch sides. I want to see what Cloud9 has.
Something I'm actually really interested in is, will the priority shift for Cloud9 on Lee Sin? Almost all pro teams you talk to say Xin is better than Lee Sin. That should be the higher priority pick. But Spica's basically showing us, well, not if you're good enough on Lee Sin. They actually prioritize it more highly. They care a lot about this pick. Blabber, also a very strong Lee Sin player. Are they willing to take it away here to prioritize it that highly themselves? Or are they comfortable just going for continually playing with that Xin? And the answer right there, Lee Sin, first pick priority now for both teams. And Blabber is very likely the person going to be piloting it. He is going to have to show up here. Because if you prize this pick this highly, you do not just automatically win against Xin. It is actually really hard. You have to execute at such a high level. You have to be so proactive. Xin is so much easier to, I think, have an impact in team fights than Lee Sin is. So there's a lot of pressure on you to get things done early. TSM, early Xin plus Renekton. Will Cloud9 match top lane here? TF was left up, so that is definitely an option. I would actually love to see like TF plus, some sort of a side lane play, maybe TF Jace or something along those lines that you can try to really punish this Renekton. If you want to go aggressive, there's other options. Gnar is much more of a safe answer to Renekton. I wouldn't call it a counter pick, but it's what most people go to. It's just kind of that safe answer. And this does set them up for 1-3-1. It's not as gankable with the Gnar as it is with some of the other picks, but Lee Sin can still attack mid with the Rise.
Curious to see what happens, because obviously you've got Cracker, so you've got some gank ability. If he's ever mini Gnar, that guy's just dead. Orianna Rise is going to be the matchup again here in the mid lane. And obviously with the Gnar locked in, we know it is definitely Lee Sin. This will make it tie as Blabber's second most played jungler with a pretty cool 74% win rate, above his normal win rate, so it is something he is very, very good at. That said, if you just look at Summer Split, Fudge has played twice many Lee Sin games. Of course, Lee Sin used to be much more of a laner. Yes, exactly. That role got nerfed, and again, we know it's Gnar top, so yeah, no surprises here. So same roles have been picked for both teams. And we're going to the bans for the bot lane now. Okay, Kalista taken off the table. I mean, it's parity in the roles that have been picked, so there's going to be a lot of focus here on bot lane. It just depends which teams are going to prioritize what types of picks. Leona and Thresh were already off on the table. Will they be banning out some of these more engaged style picks that Sword does like to play? It would be really interesting to see if Pantheon got taken off. I don't expect it. My guess is that C9 will still say, hey, yeah, you had a good game 1 on that, but if you do not execute in the same way that you did in the bot lane, your game will not look nearly as good. I still expect there to be more of a high priority on the tank style supports, things like the Nautilus, like the Rel, Leona, etc. Braum is available if you want a strong defensive support. It has not been banned out this time because TSM is focusing the marksman instead. And with the double marksman ban, they're going to be looking likely to just grab Varus here with their next pick. So now Cloud9 has to kind of decide, do we want to deny that, or are we okay getting pushed down to like maybe an Ashe or something along those lines, or an Ezreal? Are we more concerned about what Sword Art is going to do? Because he's the player that most people are looking towards, and they are in fact more concerned about what Sword Art is going to do than the priority pick here for Lost. But it feels like an easy Varus, very likely for Lost, and then it's just, what does Sven have as the answer? Tristana is also another option, but I don't think you want to play the Tristana into the Varus because Sven is so good at the Varus. Yep,
Makes
goes
sense.
for it.
Yep.
The other thought I had is in case you really care about Leona, but she's banned, right? So you think like the engaged support pool has been pinched, but it hasn't. TSM throw in 2 bans and then pick a litter for bot lane.
Exactly. And I mean, when you throw the double ban on Marksman, that's why I just immediately assume they're trying to essentially make it like a triple ban with the 2 bans plus a takeaway to really push Sven down. And he will go Ezreal. So it's going to be a very kind of defensive lane here for Sven. with Rakan Ezreal, like this is one of the weakest viable 2v2 lanes, I think, in Pro League. I think that is, as far as what you're looking to do, it's just mitigate. It is not attack. It is not dominate. It is looking towards team fighting. It is looking towards roaming. It is looking towards the ability that Rakan has to really impact these 5v5s. And again, he goes to the Pantheon. The confidence pick here will be brought out. There were other options he could have gone for, but he is going aggressive. And once more, they are playing a lane that does have high kill potential. You know, it is not the Kalista, but the stun coming in from the Pantheon can set up for the guaranteed piercing arrow, pop the W, the Q comes through. For the X Q, you can chain that with the Varus ultimate, post 6 as well, or even set that up. And it's going to force the cleanse here from Sven. So we're in for a really interesting game. Aggressive top lane, aggressive bot lane here for TSM. And for Cloud9, it's going to be about playing through solo lanes, very likely mitigating loss on that bottom side with this cleanse Ezreal, with the exhaust on Rakan, trying to roam around with your Lee Sin and make things happen, because Blabber needs to be proactive, I feel, in this game.
See what they can do. It's going to be fun to watch for. Cloud9 got dominated in the early game, and now they've got to turn that around, because TSM have generally not let go once they've had the lead. In playoffs, they've had statistically the strongest mid and late game because they just get more and more than their early leads suggest, or they fight back from deficits. Cloud9 may need to battle them in the early to make sure that doesn't come true again. Champions, of course, locked in on both sides, loading into the game here for number 2 of what could be 5. Heck, could be 3. If TSM really remain a class above, this might be a quick day here in the LCS as TSM punch the ticket to Worlds, but Cloud9, of course, have the skill, have the pedigree to fight back.
Yeah, not a team to normally go down without a fight here. I'm expecting them to battle back. Quick pause as we do go in game, so we'll let you know as soon as we find anything out about this. But all the Rune Summoners looking pretty standard. The only one I already talked about was that exhaust from Vulcan, but I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, when you are playing against Xin, when you're playing against Pantheon, against Renekton, there's so many valuable exhaust targets, both in that 2v2 as well as in the team fight. You see, ready has been called by both teams, so probably just a quick setting or something that needed to be changed.
Okay.
And we should be good to go here shortly.
Great. I'm excited to see it. I talked about it in the previous game, but I am always excited about this time of year. I'm excited about the kind of games we're going to have. It's been a really fun weekend overall. Sword Art's happy. He's smiling, laughing. That's good to see. And then going for a standard, very sort of passive option with the tier. You do not have to start tier. You'll have plenty of time to, get there later with a Doran's Blade. But, of course, as the team set up for the level 1, it's always good to hear the side lane commentary from the coaches as the top laners see each other. The Tigers are standing by with Curry.
Thank you, Freak. What a game for TSM in Game 1, having a lot of control against quite the volatile C9. What was your read on that game?
The read on that game was we just wanted to come out really aggressive in the first game. This is our game to go to Worlds. So this is a series to go to Worlds. It's our last chance, so we're just going to play all out. Yep. And we just played really aggressive from beginning to end.
A lot on the line, and even with that being said, C9 still showing their strength in team fights. What is the confidence of the team to be able to continue suppressing them here in game number 2?
Our confidence is super high. I mean, they fought well, but we fought better, and we won the game. So we're just going to keep doing that all series.
Better fighting gets the win. Thank you for stopping on by. Back to the casters.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Yeah, early game aggressive TSM looked great. I got to say, any sort of early game aggressive team is going to be one that I'm going to kind of give a nod to. I think it's actually a very important play style to have, especially when you want to go internationally, when your goals are to represent your league in your region. And I feel like early game is really, really important as these continues to rise later in the year. Both teams have gotten deep wards of the opposing red buffs. Spica is spotted doing his. They notice that Blabber's not on his own red. So they can surmise that both junglers started topside.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to understand, where these junglers will be. The question is, where are they going to head from here? It's very rare that you see anything from Lee Sin without having red buff as far as early ganks. So I'm expecting pretty passive pathing. At least get the red buff, then maybe look towards mid. That feels like the best setup he has is towards Perks, trying to attack Power of Evil, who's obviously not playing with Cleanse. It is going to be TP, so the setup from the Rise can be quite valuable, and that's definitely a 2v2 they could look towards.
Shit's coming across. It looks like, bot lane control, no surprise, belongs to Sword Art. Of course, if you can land that Q poke, looks pretty good. The Vulcan doing a pretty standard option of starting E in the defensive lane and just saying, well, I can guarantee a Guardian Shield, so pretty much none of your burst is going to really work against Ven. check out the top lane matchup, by the way. I think Gnar versus Renekton is going to be a bit more action-packed than the Renekton Tom Kitchen they had before. So the free Pro V match, but this one should be fun to watch for across these two top laners.
Yeah, more of an ability, I think, for Fudge to, if he plays well, dictate the lane, right? In the Tom Kench, it's more about survival in a lot of these lanes, and he farmed pretty evenly. It did go fine for him, but the map had kind of fallen apart before he was really involved, so we'll see if he can get anything going for his team up there on the top side. Early tab is going to be super valuable for him with the move speed. The ability to chase down is so important in these range versus melee matchups to get that third proc of the Hyper, and as expected, looking towards mid after the red buff. Well, but Power View is playing towards that top side.
Right, he knows exactly which way Blabber has been pathing. Nice little Rune Prison damage, but not going to have quite enough follow-through unless you want to go for a flash or ward hop play. They don't have the damage at this point. I mean, he's out of range of perks, who's out of cooldowns anyway, but smart playing on the lane. Fudge doing really well against Huni. This is a chance at a kill, forcing the flash as a boomerang would have been a flash follow, guaranteed a kill with Hyper. So, in the top lane, Fudge has agency, and already he's up a summoner spell.
Yeah, that's huge, and he's going to be up too, because very likely you have to actually TP back in this situation. Spica has been spotted. Will they try to move? It looks like Power People has the push, so I don't really think they can move, and Spica is up a level, so will just be a fight for this. With neither jungler having their smite available, supports are moving, trying to support, and Spica just going to have to give this one up. So nicely defended by Cloud9.
Yeah, a nice attempt at the gank a little bit earlier. Of course, an attempt at the punish by looking at chickens. Basically,
fast plate.
Yeah. All right, no big problems here. And yes, turret plate down to the bottom side. Gold lead 160. Pretty standard. Trinket ward goes down. They know Lee Sin's towards the bottom side, likely on the Krugs, as they saw him pathing there beyond the Raptors, and now they can know one more likely gank angle. They can get over the Dragon Pit somehow with a ward hop and then try, but that's going to be a bit tough to do. Vulcan wants to find a knockup. Bit of damage is stunned, but trade looks okay as he shields back to his team, and just a bit of damage on a Lost.
Yeah, not bad. Just trying to make Lost respect any sort of potential aggressive moves here. They're trying to get the push in this case, and Fudge did save his TP. Huni used his, so now is where you can try to look for cross-map plays, or at the very least, dissuade them from your opponents. Fudge here wanting to make sure that he continually can extend this advantage, maybe call Blabber up here. If Huni is pushing, he's just kind of trim the wave. It doesn't look like he's hard shoving. So if you can keep Huni on your side of the map and he is flashless, then there is potential to make something happen if Lee Sin gets up there.
He's going down to the mid lane. Once again, looks like Perkz has the push, has control over mid, and now he's like, hey, top lane looks worthwhile. Flashless, TP-less Renekton, that's what I want to go after. Pops the Scryer's Bloom, sees there's only the one ward. Fudge can kill that trigger ward, no problem. 10 gold apiece for that, and it means that round 2 can look good as PoE wards the bottom side of his lane. Now there's no real coverage for top side unless Xin Zhao gets there to look at the next time Perkz wants to roam.
Yeah, Sven getting poked very heavily here. Does have a couple biscuits, but might just base off of this. They haven't seen Xin for a long time. They have really no deep vision on this bot side, so is going to have to play it somewhat safe. Vulcan trying to step forward, but not sure if Xin Zhao's in that brush, so you can see him hesitating to actually walk all the way into it.
Bit of a cross map right now. Rise at the top as the bot side control is going to get Dragon. They're not playing to cover the Renekton. They're saying, Huni, you need to live. Instead, we're going to get an objective. So here comes the 2v1. Rune Prison, but he jumps back onto the turret, and Huni lives in the 1v2. Fudge used the tail end of Mega Gnar, got a stun, but did not get enough damage. Dragon will be claimed, and Huni's getting most of the farm.
Yep. Huni able to survive that very easily. We didn't see the start of the play. Mega Gnar's on cooldown, so he obviously did get that off, but maybe it was like a buffered stun. And that situation can really kind of turn bad for Cloud9. If, as the Renekton, you can buffer your stun as you're getting stunned up by the Mega Gnar, there's not really any follow-up damage coming through. Perkz, arrived a little bit too late. That Mega Gnar was expiring, as you kind of pointed out, so not able to make good on the dive. They lose the Dragon on the bottom side, so their counterplay not going to really amount to anything here. But Blabber trying to hover. Lost is out of mana, just about, so maybe going to look for some sort of a play here as Vulcan steps forward.
Okay.
They're going to go for Sword Art.
Walking up a Sword Art. Got to find the knockup as Spica's coming around.
6, though.
He has ways out, though, right? He's got the E charges. He can jump back. It's not going to be a problem. They see what's going on. Not going to find too much more damage. And at some point, the recall. Of course, we haven't seen the C9 bot lane recall yet. The same on TSM. And, yeah, eventually, C9 has to take the bad recall because they're always going to be pushed in. The health bar is getting lower and lower. And eventually, all right, out we go. We'll lose a wave.
Man, yeah, that actually really sucks, though, because you're going to lose another plate, too. It's already pretty low. That's a very costly recall. I'm surprised they don't step up for one auto. It's literally one auto to get that plate. To get
auto
the gold.
Then recall?
Yeah.
And you're probably getting the share? Yeah, you're probably right.
It literally one auto attack, and you would get the 160 gold. So I'm a little bit surprised. Instead, they're prioritizing the tempo here.
Yeah.
It will stay just above, so it ends up working out just fine. You know, they can collect that plate later, and I think that's kind of their read. But it does mean Varus further ahead. As I kind of expected, I just think Ezreal Rakan, to be frank, just sucks as a 2v2. There's not a lot you can really do to outplay this sort of matchup. You can't outpush them. You can't really outpoke them because Varus will just sit behind the minions. He can poke through minions. You cannot. Rakan cannot look for any sort of an all-in playing with the exhaust.
But
so
here's the goal.
You just got to try to get out of lane. Yeah, exactly. Make things happen elsewhere. But TSM has done a good job of actually preventing that. It's a slow early game, but I think that is kind of to their benefit here. When you have this Lee Sin and this Rakan who are kind of drafted to make plays, and Sven getting wrapped around on.
Oh, does not quite get the stun for Sword Art. Made the choice to go for a Shredder Dirk instead of Boots. That is maybe the right call, but it means he was not in range to get the stun in this instance, and Sven is able to save his cleanse.
It's the same thing he did last game, right? Prioritizing just building up this damage, getting towards the Unbold Glaive. I think that is the goal, just the fastest possible Unbold Glaive. Utilize the gold income you get from the support item. You only get that 1,000 gold there. Spica going in.
Yeah, walking away, hitting a ward, and it's going to be a first claim. Shocker lands here as well. Good damage. Blabber jumping back. Tries to stay alive and follow through. First blood once again for TSM. Now Fudge running away under his turret. TSM still on the chase, forcing a second flash out of Perks.
They do get a little bit here. They're trying to go back in.
Ezreal shot, barrage on a 3. Health bars are low. Meganar not anywhere close to in range. Huni has a big stun. They got a follow through from their jungler. Ulti comes across from Spica. Gets the slow. Almost the kill with Koldemeek. And now the follow through is in. Fudge has dropped as well. And TSM stay alive. Literally 12 HP left on Sven. Nearly the flash Q gets the kill out of Lost.
TSM just take the fights. They win the fights. They are out executing back-to-back games in these early plays here. And Huni got so much value in this fight, getting in, hitting multiple members with all of his spells there. Cloud9 are able to actually rush this down. They do take the initial play, but Spica, unperturbed, he just goes straight in. They have the shockwave to follow it up, so even though Blabber initially gets out, he's always slated to go down. Spica has a W connected, dashes in there, takes him out, and then Huni here on the re-engage. They have the Ezreal ult coming through, so they say, hey, we can actually set this up. And the setup was nice with the Rise damage coming through, with the Ezreal ult, with everything coming forward. Huni, the initial exhaust is great onto him, but as that expires, look at this. Slice, dice, Q on 3. They are getting roasted. Fudge was trying to re-enter the play, hoping that he could actually get to Meganar and turn that one around. And had he been able to transform and get Mega, I think that could be a potential C9 win in that fight, but he does not. They burst him down. And Cloud9 out the gates behind once more here against the TSM that is looking on point, that is looking confident in these fights.
This has got to be the most tilting thing, is play the other side of the matchup and still lose it, and that's what's happening for Blabber against Spica. All right, wow, the Lee Sin's really good. Okay, well, first pick it away. Don't worry about it. Sorry, buddy, Spica's still better. Stronger jungler, absolutely right now, doing so much work for TSM in the 2-0 start. Doesn't care what kind of lane control you have. It still works for Spica. And we'll wait to see what he can do with the Rift Herald. He has snuck into the top side. Ulti's going to pull him back. They're going to find a stun. A ward hop kick back. Is it enough? Ulti popped. Big stun. Yes, they will find the kill. So a good gank comes across the top side. But here is Spica to defend the wave and lose at most a single turret plate.
Yeah, not even able to get the Demolish Rock there. I think it prepped, but did not go down. So not able to get that plate. That was a great play, though. The scoop back into the queue, into a ward hop kick even further back. So no way out for Huni. That's the kind of play you need. Blabber needs to be proactive. That's a first good play he's really been able to find. He's going to drop the Herald mid here, try to get some gold for Sven, who is severely lacking in the gold department.
Yep. We know the... Yep, so he's not even going to get gold on Sven. It's all going on to Blabber.
Yeah.
Rift Herald charge, plate gold is always global. And, yeah, Sven had to walk back. So, okay, Blabber earns 320 gold for his Rift Herald charge. Okay, great. But you're still kind of walking back a deficit here. 580, now 600 FTX gold advantage on TSM's side. And it's time for the second dragon. They've been actually very aggressive about dragons in this series. Oftentimes we'll see teams, oh, well, we'll get the kills, you get the dragons, we're going to play aggressively for gold. TSM are getting both. This is rare in Pro League to really get all of this, it feels like. and they're just walking over Cloud9 in the early game.
And there's a reason they're doing it. It's because they're just straight up outplaying in the fights, right? And you can do that if you're willing to take the fights, you win the fights, then you get control of the map, then the rewards are even greater. In most cases, it is so rare, as you're saying, because teams will opt to trade, right? They will opt to not take the fight. They will trade cross-map. They say, okay, you're going up here. All right, we're going over there. We're going to take a tower bot because you're going top. And instead, TSM just meets them where they are, beats them where they are, and then takes it all.
That first such trade, to their credit, was Huni in the 1v2. Right? It was a tower dive traded for a dragon, but the tower dive was defended. Huni's flash is level 5 against level 6, and he's like, it's cool, see ya. I'm just going to walk backwards, and he's going to recall. And it's like, okay, Huni, a round of applause. They got nothing, well done. And then as you mentioned, the team fight they won despite Herald being taken. Herald got 2 turret plates. TSM got 2 kills. That's better. It's looking great. Shotgun on the bottom side now as well. Perk's going to trade back, and now he's got a support, but it's not going to be a knock-up that lands, and PoE is safe to push in the rest of the wave.
He's got a support, but Swordart's got a carry here. He's got the swords in pocket. He is ready to go. And they're looking to just straight up knock down this tower. Herald went towards Cloud9, but it's TSM that are going to grab first tower here on this bottom side. Perks cannot step up. TSM going to extend that FTX gold advantage here, about 1.5K, looking good. The one winning lane right now for Cloud9 is Fudge, and he is going to have to try to do his best to continually extend this advantage, to pressure Huni, because he's got to be this pressure valve for Cloud9, somewhere where they can get things done on the map, somewhere where TSM is bleeding gold, because you do not want TSM to get in that comfort zone where they're extending their advantages constantly as they did in game number 1.
And what I'm also impressed by is the versatility of TSM as well. Obviously, okay, Speaker winning both sides of the jungle matchup, but Swordart had 2 career Pantheon games heading into this. 2. It's like his 17th most played support. None on the year. It's like, no, ready to go. I'm going to support Diffu here as well. It's the Rakan counter pick. No problem. I'm going to crush you with this one. And it has been the difference, right? The amount of control they had over bot lane is why they're getting the Dragons. In both these, he's been such a big part of all the kills they've been getting. Like, really impressive to see him add that extra amp to the pool and have it work so beautifully from the get-go.
Absolutely agree. And I mean, no matter which way this game goes, it has been impactful twice in a row, and that can really change what drafts look like. Do you actually have to ban that out? Do you have to try to pick your support later in draft than you want to? Cloud9 moving up here. They're going to fight around Herald.
All right, first knock up. True Shot Barrage onto 2. Low health bar on a Speak, and then we got to walk into range, but he Gordra goes back up and burning down Vulcan. TSM wanting for more. Flash stun for Huni, but now he's got to get out. I know, he's got no dice. He's got no flash. He is going to fall. Ulti is good damage, and Power of Evil claims it at the end, but Lost set that one up. 2-1 in the fight, TSM.
Do they want to contest, though? I mean, you almost have Meganar here. You have your 3 carries alive. If they feel this is important enough, I think this is a potentially winnable 3v4.
Vulcan's running over. They got 10 seconds till to 4v4. Take that timer in mind. Keep in mind, smite difference goes down to 1K. It's basically guaranteed. There's the weak point. Not able to hit it right now. Vulcan spotted on a ward. Great sense there, but the stun's going to come across anyway. They're going for the support, and yes, they will shut down Swordart, but it will trade back against the Meganar. However, Perks fires in and knocks down Spica, so yes, Cloud9 stick around. They get the Vulcan flank, and they get the 2-for-1.
Cloud9 strike back, finally winning one of these important skirmishes here. This one around the Herald. They're not rewarded with the Herald itself, but critically, a couple kills there for Perks. Sven getting involved in the action as well, getting some gold back in his pockets because he has been down. And now going to be able to push forward here, try to pressure this tower. But you can see Swordart's coming out of base, so if they go too aggressively, there is the potential of the Pantheon just moving up, supporting with the ultimate. But the targeting there was great from Cloud9. Vulcan coming in, Fudge setting up with the Meganar. They burst down the Pantheon. Because it's all about the Aegis Assault to actually stay alive in these fights. Vulcan going in the pit, looking for the wraparound here onto Spica, but they're not able to burst him down. A little bit anti-synergy as the kick was coming through as Sven was looking for the True Shot Barrage, so it does not both land. Then Huni in fast there. Lost almost connects with the arrow, but Sven was quick on the cleanse flash, is able to avoid it. Over the wall, PoE picks up a kill. But knowing you have Mega, knowing that they are missing their ultimates, this is a winnable fight here for Cloud9. So they delay. They wait for the support, moving out of base here, looking for this potential engage angle. And as he comes, Fudge is going to move in from the top as Vulcan moves in from the bottom. Yes, Vulcan is spotted, but look at the engage here from Fudge. Multiple members into the wall, focus there on the Pantheon, burst him down before he can get the Aegis Assault out. And then, yes, there is the trade, but again, the focus fire onto Spica, taking him down as well. That was a really well-played fight from Cloud9, and it is good to see them stepping up to the challenge of TSM, who has been looking incredible through 2 games.
Has been looking good. And TSM, though, looking for a bit more. Perks, that minion, yeah, you are...
I think that was an intentional execute, because there's a TP behind him.
Yeah.
There's the ult coming in. You know, it looks silly, but this ward back there is, I'll wait to see if we get a replay. But the ward in the lane was getting TP'd on from Power of Evil. You see the ultimate coming in from Sword Art.
Yeah.
So there's actually no way out. So your best recourse there is just to say, all right, I'm going to try to trade my life for the tower. It does end up living, but still, at the very least, you don't give over kill gold. So I actually respect the play there. Looks silly, but I think it's the right call, because he has a shutdown too that he denies from them. Yeah. You do not want to give that extra gold. So yeah, it's right here. It's this ward coming in. It's them moving up from multiple angles, looking for this play here. And I just think he decided that he wasn't going to get out.
Yeah, watching it back with full vision, which again he doesn't have,
but he doesn't know where they are.
Of
I think
course.
his read is that they're coming in, so he's going to make the execute. I agree. You know, with full vision, he could ult out or maybe TP out early and
or
not
walk,
die to it,
actually.
or walk. But I think if you try to walk out, you do get Pantheon ulted on and you get caught by that TP. Either way, it works out, I think, just fine for Perks, because he doesn't give over any gold on the kill. He does get the execute. They lose Herald off of it, but Fudge is pressuring bot side, almost takes that tower down. So Cloud9 still in a pretty good spot.
I do want to note, though, that TSM are on Soul Point. They, even after the aftermath of that previous battle.
Two.
Yes.
This versus the tower.
Here we go. Gets the Sonic, not Sonic Wave, sorry, it's the other blue skill shot that comes out from just human with stuff on him. No, Pee-wee holding the wave. Minions are in, though, hitting the turret. The turret's getting low, and Perks gets his revenge.
They're the best storyline there. All right, Perks.
1-1 against turrets. One more death, they can be in his comfort zone.
That's true, yeah. He's not yet lower bracket against the tower.
Maybe that was what the death did. Maybe it's just best of one full way through.
Oh, so that put a lower. Well,
He's
now the towers are doomed then.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, we'll see how he does in the side lane then. We'll have to track that important storyline here.
I love it. Don't worry, we'll keep our eyes updated. But yes, TSM on Soul Point, and we are 2 minutes and 45 seconds from an Ocean Soul if TSM retain that control. Gold is close, though.
Man, it's so interesting this sort of just doesn't buy boots on Pantheon. Yeah. This is back-to-back games. He's not even super fed this game, so it wasn't a pivot. He just seems to have the read that the engage is about flash engage, the engage is about the ultimate, so it's not about closing the gap with the move speed. And because he's playing more heavily in the 2v2 and not actually roaming as much, you know, he's playing 4-lane dominance, the boots also become less important there. But it's very atypical from support play, so it is interesting to see him have this different read that, no, it's actually most important for me to complete lethality, get an early Umbral Glaive, move towards the Duskblade. Yep. And I think it's a pivot that has worked pretty well for him. So we'll have to track if that continues to do so throughout the series.
Definitely surprises me, because it's not like he's running the magical footwear rune or anything like that. You know, I checked initially. So, all right. Cloud9, though, still looking to play active. Keep in mind, at this point, any wards you put down will stay alive until Dragon spawns. 2.5 for any Sightstone wards. Obviously, infinite time for blue and control. And so we know Dragon is important. Yes, a Baron Sneak is possible, but TSM's Baron Dragon is not that high. Cloud9's is probably even worse. And so we're looking around the bottom right-hand side of the map.
Yeah.
Who can get the control? Who can make this happen? Because I don't think Cloud9 can come back from such an early Ocean Soul.
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, I think it's potentially a series-defining fight that's going to be coming up here. You know, losing this fight, if you lose that soul to TSM, if you lose that fight, you know, you're going down 2-0 in a series. You're putting yourself in such a difficult position. So we'll see how well Cloud9 can execute. Whoever makes a big play here, it can be game-changing. It could be series-changing. The gold is very close, so Cloud9 has the ability to win this fight, but Sword Art is looking.
Renekton's close, and Gnar is still in the lane. So TSM have a moment here. You got to brain jump over the wall and find Blabber? No, it's going to walk back. Of course, no wave to crash into the outer turret.
Fudge just make it out, so he's not going to have it for the fight. And that's actually so big unless he can recharge.
Wow, they're going charm, exhaust, knock-up, kick back. Perks is a flash way to stay alive. Hootie, they get Mega Gnar for the fight. He got there in time. That's why they forced it. And it's enough to find the top laner killed. He'll be dead for the time Dragon spawns. Have the TP back in. So 5v4 for 30 seconds. What can C9 do?
Well, TSM trying to pressure this tier 2 mid, so Cloud9 can't actually start it just yet. There's still 20 seconds, of course, before it does spawn up. Will that kill even have mattered? Did they overcommit? Because Huni has TP. He's going to be up here in 20. They'll have a slim window where they can try to force.
Load, but Speaker doesn't have his second jump, so he can't get on there just yet. 7 seconds till the Dragon spawns up.
Solos are basing from Cloud9. They're going to have to double TP back here. Huni's going to be up in 5. So Cloud9, if they want the fight, they got to go now. But, oh my god, that chunk on Vulcan.
Big damage. At least he's ulti-less, so he's not important anyway, but here comes Huni back alive. Perkz gonna get a blue buff steal, and this could be a 5-on-5. Again, Ocean Soul, if TSM lands the smite, this is gonna be a 5-on-5 for maybe the future of this game. A big ult, Meganar almost ready, and Fudge will not quite die. Dragon yet to reset, engage on a Spica, won't kill him, but Vulcan is dead, and it's claimed by Blabber, keeping Cloud9 alive for now. 5 versus 4, 4 versus 4, sorry, both supports are dead.
Fish in a barrel for Sven.
TSM hemmed in, engage, Shockwave! Will find 2 and Lost puts 1 in the dirt. TSM in control of the map, they can walk away alive.
Power of Evil, that was so big, and he'd not been able to find that Shockwave, fight their way out. Sven would have been able to pick them off one by one in the pit there. What a tense fight. Blabber coming up huge, though, gets the steal, does go down, but they needed that Dragon so badly. That is huge. As it all came down to this initial play, the Meganar was popped in bot, and so they just made the call, we need to force now. We do not win this fight without it. The crunch comes through, flash Meganar into the wall, they kill off Huni, Spica does retreat, and then it's the reset on the play because TSM drops Herald mid. There's still 20 seconds before the Dragon, so they couldn't actually go for the initial fight after that. Both C9 members do base. The Soul Laners TP back here. They look for the fight, but it gives time for Huni to get back up here too, to rejoin. And this could have been so bad for Cloud9 if Fudge went down. Almost burst out, gets hit by the Varus ulti, the Q poke from the Pantheon, from the Varus, everything coming through, and then Blabber threading the needle, nails the Q on the Dragon, goes in, Q smite, gets the execute there, and Power of Evil just stepping up, fighting forward into Perkz, flash over the wall, knows there's no vision. The safeguard came through from Blabber, and I love the follow-up from Lost, seeing the two-man Shockwave. That was incredible setup from Power of Evil, flashing over, getting those kills. That was a huge play from Lost. That was a huge play from Power of Evil, and you can see it reflected in the damage.
Yeah. Really big out of the mid and bot of TSM. Sven did land a lot of his skill shots in that fight. Building a bit defensively with the Divine Thunderer build. And now Perkz hopes he will not be stunned. And indeed, Renekton W was down. Speaker couldn't get his third Q. And that is Perkz able to walk away just barely.
Oh, I mean, that Everfrost was so critical. If you don't land the Everfrost, I think you just forget about the interrupt. You just die to the Renekton. He has very little health there. You know, one more auto plus the burn from the ulti potentially could have done it. Of course, I'm not sure if Huni just had that ulti up because it is up now. Either way, Perkz able to escape by the slimmest of margins there. Trying to play aggressively in these side lanes, but it's going to be tough. Not only is there that threat of the engage from jungle plus top, if Sword Art is missing, he can ult in, especially once he hits 11. That is going to get even more dangerous for them.
Okay, looking at it again. Looks like Spica walking forward, not going to be knocked up,
but
does have flash for an escape. He wants to go in instead. Pushes out Vulcan, and a root on Huni slows him down as well. As the ulti was popped, they're not going to get much. Sven takes a bit of poke. He's going to get him back with an ulti onto 3. Sword Art, I believe, blocks his side of the damage. And now it's going to be a retreat. 2 minutes until the next time TSM can claim Ocean Soul.
But I like that they're playing aggressively around this. They're not actually just sitting back and saying, all right, we'll see you next time Dragon's up, right? They're fighting. They're pushing forward. They're looking to take down towers. They're looking to take away jungle camps. They're playing with confidence. Curry spoke about this, how he wants the team to play with no regrets, how he wants the team to play aggressive. This is potentially your last series of the year. This is your last shot to continue on for the championship, for Worlds. And TSM wants to play in the face of Cloud9 with confidence, and both these teams are just going at each other, depending on their ability to execute in fights, and it is a beautiful thing to see.
It really is. Cloud9 certainly playing a much closer game than in Game 1. The bot lane priority gave TSM the first couple of Dragons. Okay, fair game, but since then, Cloud9 have fought back pretty well. The team fights have been close. Obviously, you can see that with the 7-8 kill score. They are able to team fight well even from the Drake and the gold disadvantage. It is doable. Sterix Gage now done for Blabber. He's ready to front line. This is the big, sort of fighter combo you need to hold on in the mid game as a frontliner.
They're grouping up here. It looked like they were trying to group. I was thinking maybe some sort of a Rise ulti play, but Sword Art here on the wraparound. And PoE, big bounty on his head, and he got Mage Eyes. The confidence that one shows. As Fudge is just pushing on this top side, he does have TP available, but they may need him for even the setup. The Dragon is in 30 seconds, and Cloud9 have no vision even on that entire side of the map. It's just a massive wall of TSM vision. This whole section is blacked out for Cloud9, and they've got to find some sort of a way. If you are not going for the Ocean Soul, you must take Baron, or the game is probably lost, and it looks like that's the play. They're going to try to draw TSM up into a fight. They know they don't have vision. They don't have wards to fight for the Dragon, so instead they're looking to fight in this area. Fudge about to Mega. Will they commit? Because Varus is here with the poke.
Renekton coming around as well. Flashes up for basically everybody.
Fudge is going to go, I think.
And is it going to be much of a team fight? Huni and Fudge going to see each other. True Shot Barrage hits Sword Art down a little bit low, but now they're going to lock down Fudge for a bit. He ultis only one person. That's a big waste, but they're going to Realm Warp in, looking to kill the Renekton. They just can't quite do it. Huni's able to walk away. Orianna's shield on his head. We know the Ocean Drake is live, and TSM get first dibs at walking down.
Yeah, man, they got so split there. Really risky stuff from Cloud9. But they are trying to force. They just don't feel that they can do anything about this. Power of Evil, though, he's going to solo the Dragon. And this is the answer from TSM. This is exactly how you want to play it. Lost and Speak a poking around. Cloud9 are checkmated now. I think they have to commit to the Baron, or they're just are going to lose.
Well played, TSM. Cloud9 took a risk taking the read. They couldn't do it any other way, and TSM take the fight correctly. They send in Sword Art just for good measure, just to guarantee it. As Ocean Soul is claimed, TSM well ahead of Cloud9, looked at a 2-0 start.
That is so big. It was all about the vision from TSM. Cloud9's read was they just can't fight this with no wards in the area, so they weren't willing to actually show up for it. Nice little red steal there from Spica. And I mean, Cloud9 are pretty close as far as the gold goes, but Ocean Soul is worth so much, is worth so damn much, especially against champions like Ezreal, who want to poke you out, who want to chip away at you. It gets incredibly difficult, and you can make that even more difficult when there's very little heal cut at all. The only thing is an Executioner's on Fudge.
Yeah, he's finally started it. So he's getting a lot of value, obviously. There is the double gore drinker, there is the Ocean Soul, so it is nice, from a let's go Cloud9 positive for a second, from the sense that it's the only Dragon Soul you can actually directly combat. You can directly nerf what it's doing by just buying some Grievous Wounds, and okay, well, you can, peg it at, 4,000 or 5,000 gold worth of stats. Well, it's 40% of that, because you've cut that healing down. Like, to be clear, I think TSM are clearly heavily favored. This is a very good soul. It helps the frontline stay alive a whole lot longer. It's really, really valuable. Is it possible to win? Of course it is, right? If your combo is let's one-shot Rise, his healing for 1 second with Soul is not going to change that math very much. Like, the ways in which Cloud9 win are probably still the same ways, but a lot of those edge cases just go away.
Yeah, exactly. And the long extended skirmishes that we've seen a lot of become so difficult, where you have this back and forth, where you go in, you chunk someone down, you back up, and it's this back and forth, this extended play. That series of plays against Baron, the value that Ocean Soul gets in that kind of scenario is worth much more even than it feels like than the 4,000 gold. So TSM heavily favored here. One of the other things I love about Ocean Soul is you can just keep trying Baron over and over. You don't care. You will stay full health. You will continually heal back up. And this is going to push Cloud9 into a really uncomfortable position where they have got to come in here. They have got to fight this. And their game could be hinging on this potential fight. They're trying to force out the TP from Fudge, but he's walking instead. He wants to hold on to it. But, I mean, if they commit to this is going to be dead here pretty soon.
Okay, ulti comes on in. He's going to try as Vulcan. Gets a little bit of damage across, but no kills just yet. Kicking back Spica, and they've knocked down Pantheon. 1 for 0. Cloud9 will get the damage. Spica going to jump in. They're going to trade back on a perks now as Spica is still able to frontline. Huni just find the same. 1 for 1. Mid laner for support, but the Xin Zhao is in for more. Fudge nearly Mega Gnar. Not going to be slowed yet again. Is able to get away with his flash, but the Baron has been stopped and stalled. 1 for 1. Now again, on to Spica, frontline holding up with the Gore Drinker. Time to heal, but the burst is going to be enough anyway. Again, Cloud9 can focus a target above the region. Now Huni wants in, but Huni's going to fall. Cloud9 do have the damage. The scrappiness is there.
Man, the threat from Fudge as well, deciding so much in that fight. The fact that he didn't just commit the Mega Gnar onto Huni meant Power of Evil and Lost cannot walk into that corridor. He is just playing bodyguard for the other 3 C9 members to be able to burst down Huni. And that is fantastic team fighting to see. Cloud9 not going down without a fight. TSM still fully in control, but it is now C9 on the Baron here. Spica is down. Huni is down for 20 with no TP. This is Cloud9's window here. If you take the Baron, if you can force around Elder next, you have a shot here.
Look at the Baron right now. No jungler. Mid laner nearby. Can PoE find a shockwave? Can he somehow steal this game away from what could have been the comeback? Looking at it now. Spike comes in time, and it's Sword Art forced to flash away, but that man walks a bit slowly. Cloud9 don't want to go for any more. They know the respawns have come in. They will just take their Baron. They will take their recall. And from a game that was starting to look hopeless, Cloud9 may just be ahead.
And they're going to have the Baron buff when the Elder spawns. So that gives them a win condition. That gives them this window of opportunity. Look at that flash from Vulcan. What a play. Flashing over the Varus ultimate, CCing up multiple members. The stopwatch there from Perks on the Orianna ulti did buy some time. They had to stay focused on him. And then the extended play, TSM trying to actually chase after Fudge and take him down. And so much of it was playing around positioning. Cloud9 move around to this sort of side. Fudge comes in to actually section them off, and then it's him playing bodyguard. As Huni moves forward, you'll see Huni moving into this corridor, and then Fudge is just trying to threaten the Meganar on the side. Cloud9, Realm Warp to bot. Presumably there was someone down there that was recalling. Oh, Huni TP'd out. The Huni TP is on cooldown, so Huni must have just TP'd out from that play. But just really good positioning around that kind of corridor. Fudge not allowing the carries to come through and back up Huni. And to your point, when we were talking earlier about that soul, hey, if you can just burst someone down, if it's not that extended play, if it is the 100-0, can look good.
So, Red Bull Baron power play, 1,800 gold so far. They're going to look for 800 off a side lane tier 2. That seems pretty likely, as TSM can't realistically defend this one. Pop goes the turret, up goes the gold lead. All right, 2,300 FTX gold advantage here for Cloud9, but the Baron ends in 1.5. And then, once again, you're like, well, we've got more items, but they've got more regen. It's going to tie it up somewhat. A blue still going to come through as well.
Yep, heal cut though on 3 members now. Everyone picking it up. I'm waiting to see when and if that is going to be upgraded. We see the Glacial Shroud in the pocket of Sven, so he may just go towards Frozen Heart first. I do think there's a lot of value to be had in an upgraded heal cut item here, and I would like to see that. But Cloud9 are focused on maximum power now for this Elder. This is your window.
Yep.
The Ocean Soul lasts forever, but if you can use the Baron to get the Elder and end the game, who cares?
Absolutely the case. Now, looking at mid lane control, it's going to be slow going, but TSM still get the wave in. Baron on for 30 seconds after the Dragon spawns. They've got a decent-sized window. Fudge is starting the Gnar, right? He is building up the Fury. He wants to be able to get there, get the Rage, transform, and be the team fighter. Level 17 on that champion. Huge ult for Sven, drops Sword Art low. And just like that, TSM may not be able to fight. Spica kicked to half health as well. And is it over already? Is there even a chance that the TSM fights? We're seeing a recall from Sword Art. He can't TP. He can try to ult, but that's still going to take a little while to get there. Dragon resets. Cloud9 taking a little bit too long. Spica wants in. Going to take the fight. Vulcan ults across, and they're going to shut down one. Kicking back Huni, looking to knock him down, but he is tanky. And now we got Sword Art here as well. Decent damage from Lost. The snipe could be good. Can he find a kill? Not just yet. Fudge stays alive. 2, 3 kills picked up. Looking for a 4th, and Cloud9 have Sven drop to Lost. PoE still alive. Blabber forced to flash away. Heroics from Lost. Spica is dead, but Blabber is alive without Smite. Theoretically, this could be taken. TSM could burst it. Vulcan low. Blabber can't land the Q, and again, no Smite.
He can't get in.
Varus could do it. Varus could take it, and Lost may have found the win for TSM.
Lost was incredible, that fight, playing so much of it over the wall of the Dragon Pit there. Non-stop poke raining in from him. And Blabber without the smite, I'm not sure if he used it to heal, to stay alive there, or what it was used on, if it was used for combat, but not having the smite meant that TSM was able to secure the Elder for themselves despite a winning fight for Cloud9. And we gotta watch this one more time. Fudge is trying to play bodyguard on the top side, but it was really all about this angle here. Lost kind of wrapping around to this side and poking constantly over. Even as Huni and Spica do go in, Lost is damaging C9 members over the wall here with the poke constantly. Cloud9, they have to commit over on to this jungler and burst him down. But Lost has this kind of angle where he's just constantly shooting Qs, shooting Es, utilizing the Ocean Soul regen there, landing poke after poke after poke. Power of Evil surviving. Lost finds his opportunity, flashes in, kills off Sven, Power of Evil kiting back, and now all of a sudden, Ocean Soul kicking in. These two carries are back at full health in the long extended play. Cloud9 is anything but. Blabber without his smite just can't get the dragon. It is finished off with the Q in the air. TSM heroics from their bot liner, who has been often criticized for his play in the critical moments. This time comes up huge.
Temperate slightly with the fact that Elder Dragon only went on the 2 surviving TSM members. That is a little bit of a gut punch. It makes it less valuable than it could be, but the Golden XP, of course, is still valuable. And yes, we're going for the base to the top side as Perkz is hitting the bottom lane. First inhibitor turret has been felled. The inhibitor itself is open, but maybe worried about Cloud9's wave clear. The other turret has been dropped. The inhibitor is down first, but the recalls are coming through. Perkz may just answer equally, but Sword Art's on the way to slow him down.
Yeah, they're going to TP on him.
TP.
He's got to get out.
Warp. Is it enough? Can he stun? Flash stun guarantees he's there. Huni pops the ulti, and it's time to chase this man down. Not going to find the root just yet. Flash stun's going to come in. PoE is there. Shut down comes across.
And
Barrett's
that means
25.
Yeah, they're going to get the Baron off of that as well. Perkz playing it pretty risky, staying around for a long time. Once Sword Art is back, you could always get Pantheon ulted on, even chase down. TSM commit heavily, they even TP in, and they end up needing the TP from Huni to get the kill. So at the very least, Cloud9 got that, but there's no way you can contest the Baron. So now you're giving up the Baron as well. You're hoping that there's some sort of a miracle play. It feels like you're down to those kind of guerrilla tactics where you're looking for a ward in the base, where you're looking for a base race. You're looking for something crazy, because in a straight-up 5v5 at this point, it's so tough to fight against the Baron, to fight against the Ocean Soul.
18 stacks to Majai's Power of Evil. Clearly Cloud9 not going to stand anywhere near this objective. Not even a true shot barrage. They will not look. It will be a smite. And it will be TSM wearing the second Baron of the game on all 5 members.
Power of Evil has over 1,000 AP now. Whew. 18 pages in the book. He's got the death cap. He's got the Baron buff. He's level 18. If that shockwave hits you, you are dead.
Well, be careful, because TSM may try to end the game off of this buff. The Elder Dragon, of course, has long since timed out on the important members who had it. And now it's just about the Baron siege. FTX Field Advantage has switched hands back to TSM's favor, 1,200. Baron power play should be getting this bot lane tier 2.
I mean, I think they could get a lot. Cloud9's wave clear kind of sucks, to be honest. Ezreal, this is one of the weaknesses of the champ. It's so slow to poke these out. Perkz can do work to it, but he has to expose himself to a lot of risks to actually step forward and wave clear this. So I think this tower is just going to be gone unless Cloud9 are willing to fight for it. Nice dodge, though, by Vulcan, dashing back to avoid Lost Salty.
It's all about where you put the ball. Blabber gets to lose about 40% of his health from just dissonance in the Luden's Echo. Turret still taking some damage. They're going to wait for the next wave. Someone's got to walk back and grab it in a second. Red buff stolen by Spica, level 16 in the Xin Zhao. As they walk in the next wave, they're finally taking Spica over to mid to push that one in as well instead of just putting 5 bot. Vulcan wants in. Flash. Great double flash. Gets the bot lane to safety. Power of Evil finds the first kill. Shockwave will miss, but who cares? They survived the engage. They saw him, and the 2 got out. Now the turrets are going to fall. Now they can push to the bottom lane. Supers flooding in from top soon as well. Double inhib is down, and the mid wave has been set up by Spica. So here comes TSM to get more done. Oh, the push coming across, though. No, knocked back by Spica's ulti. No Mega Gnar going to be found. And now it's Perkz finding his way out of Sword Art. They got a pick. They might get PoE as well, and they do. I don't know how they found it, but they did. Cloud9 will not say die.
Oh, they find the pick. They tried to push in mid and go for the triple inhib play, but they got split up. And as they go over towards mid, Perkz and Blabber find the 2v2 in their favor. The flashes being forced by Vulcan end up coming up huge there as Power of Evil is locked down. A 1K shutdown given over there to Blabber. Perkz strong himself at this point. That was such a good double flash, though, from TSM. They turn, they get the initial kill. The Shockwave just barely not catching Blabber. The tail end of it not able to come through. And then it's about TSM moving for more. Sword Art heads up towards mid lane. They try to get even more there. Vulcan getting chunked out. The Elder is going to spawn again. Cloud9 getting chunked out.
I don't have a bot lane anymore. Vulcan's going to be okay, and Sven can try to lifesteal the Q, but he'll still be stuck around half HP at the end of this all. And that's going to make it a little bit tough to deal with. Nice couple of snipes come through for Lost. And again, as you mentioned, Elder Dragon's up in 12. Up 1 inhibitor. Top lane will keep the push going, but they're going to respawn soon. So I think this is the last wave of supers coming out of the base.
Bot lane pushing, though, for Cloud9 pretty heavily. It looks like there's 2 supers stacked down there. We'll see if they can actually get that wave fully going in their direction. Vulcan, though, he's been spotted, and now he's got to go on the run here. He's got to use the ult and retreat.
Yep.
Even if he gets out, that's so tough because now you're missing your key engage tool.
He's headed towards the mid. They wanted to cut off Vulcan. Do they do so? Exhaust is on, but Huni may have already burned his first stun. He's burned all the Fury, and Vulcan does stay alive after burning Exhaust, and his flash was already down anyway. So now we have the Elder Dragon fight. Sven at 2/3. Vulcan below half HP. Fudge Mininar has to respect this one now as well. TSM, can they find the battle, or will it be Cloud9? They fought so well and so scrappily to come back into this one. TSM health bars will be pretty good as they get the sort of diminutive Ocean Soul regen while hitting non-champions. They're going to be somewhat topped off here. It's still up to Sven to land that poke. So far missing a few of these Qs. And here comes Realm Warp bringing in two. Fudge and Person. Fudge nearly Mega Gnar jumped upon, though. He will transform. He will find a fight. He can get the ulti. It's going to be a dunk out of the jungler. They're looking to kill him off, and they will indeed pop the Guardian Angel. Sword Art very low, and he's going to die. Cloud9 1 for 0 so far. Perks wants the next, but Speak is going to be out of range. Fudge able to recall. Cloud9 again able to win the team fights.
Yeah, and but their base is in some trouble. They're actually basing both their soul laners. They're going to double TP. Do they have a flanking ward here to try to go for a play? They could come from the bot side behind them.
Their base! It's in the base! There's School 1 going into TSM's base right now. They got to send them back right now, and that means, I mean, we saw this in the regular season, and it got turned around, but this means someone has to answer. Perks hitting the wave, and that means it's a forced recall. They get one back. Renekton's there to defend. But how about the other half? Lost, loses himself, and gets the shockwave bait, and he will lose the Guardian Angel. Spica staying alive right now. Gonna find a little bit of damage here. Jumping away is Blabber. How about the rest of it? Spica's still there. Vulcan jumps in, but Vulcan will fall. Smite fight comes across, claimed by Sven, and a kill coming across as well. Lost, losing his own Guardian Angel, as the base will stay alive, but Sven's gonna find the ulti. Sven's gonna find the shutdown. TSM have only 2 left alive, but Perks has no HP.
They can keep pushing. Cloud9 have 3 members here healthy. They're pushing with the Elder. 45 seconds on Power of Evil, 45 on Lost. Cloud9 looking for the win.
Wait for 30 seconds. Can TSM do it? Pantheon's gonna ult
trying to cut the wave.
Knock down the wave, but he can't get all of it. The cannon's still alive. Hootie's gonna fall, and Cloud9 fight from such a deficit. The heroics of Sven to secure the Elder, and that is game 1-1.
What a series, freak! Cloud9 versus TSM just turned it up to 10. It's already delivering 1-1. Oh my God, what a back and forth game there. TSM had serious early advantages, but heroics from Cloud9 in pivotal fights, finding picks, finding plays. When it looked like there was nothing for them to get, it was an incredible game. Perk threatening the backdoor multiple times, peeling TSM apart, forcing them to make incredibly difficult situations. The double flash forced by Vulcan in that bot side play that is then immediately capitalized by getting that 1K shutdown on PoE mid when they try to go for the triple inhib. There were so many small things that led to Cloud9 being able to find their way back in. And this is 2 confident teams going at each other.
Yes.
And giving us an incredible series.
A lot of great clutch plays. We saw Lost taking the Elder Dragon in a 1v2v4.
Yeah.
Obviously Sven huge in the last fight there as well. Absolutely amazing league. Can't wait to see more of it. But during the commercial break, you may have noticed this graphic to celebrate an amazing LCS season and the 2021 championship. Our partners at Honda are giving away a bunch of League of Legends Masterwork chests and skins. If you're in the US, sign up for a chance to win in this LOL loot sweepstakes. Do it. It's free stuff. Now, Cloud9 are alive and kicking. We're kicking it to a break as well ourselves. And when we return, the State Farm Analyst Desk is breaking down the Cloud9 comeback. See you there.
The perfect way to switch it up. The HR-V from Honda.
It all comes down to this one last dragon fight to call the whole game. Boom! Look at the damage on the wombo combo. All 5 enemy players down. GG!
Welcome back to the LCS and the State Farm Analyst Desk, where I am overjoyed to be saying that the series now stands at 1-1 because it looked rather dangerous there for a moment for Cloud9.
My shape, TSM C9 is supposed to always be incredible.
And it always is.
My faith was shook a little bit, but C9 brought it back.
They do it. They do it again, man. These teams always deliver, Crumbs.
Cloud9 showed tenacity like we have not seen from them all year long. They clearly
Everybody
knew,
was wearing Merc treads.
They thought they were
So
about to
much.
lose, right? They knew, we're actually going to get put to match point. We really need to give it our all to try to stay in this game. Individual outplays came out, trying to force TSM into situations that they were not expecting, and it ended up paying off. They got the win.
Here's the thing. We pulled like 47 replays, a whole bunch of stats and things to talk about this beautiful early game lead that TSM built up and how they were controlling the game. And then we took all of it and we threw it out because the game developed into this wild back and forth team fight, skirmish after skirmish after skirmish.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing here for me is when it gets into a lot of the cross-map trading and trying to fight around these objectives. That's something that we have previously kind of criticized C9 for, and obviously they did not have a particularly strong early game. But when they were trying to go for these fights, they do actually can keep in the back of their mind that they have a scaling advantage in a 5v5. And so I think that was on their side. I really liked some of their decision-making to basically, force TSM to respond to them once they got into a position where they could control the tempo of the game, which I think was super important. So yeah, I mean, props to C9 for still being able to kind of wrestle control back in a lot of these team fights.
Yeah, and I think not only did they have the advantage in the 5v5 because Pantheon just sort of falls off really hard late game as basically a damage champion, they also have the advantage in the 1-3-1 or the 4-1, and we saw them trying to exploit that by putting Rise in the side lane. Perkz had a lot of deaths this game, but I think they're for very good reason, right? Because he was basically putting TSM in a position where, despite the Ocean Soul advantage, they had to constantly react to the pressure that you're putting on them and force them into really difficult situations.
Well, I think another key thing that C9 did this game, unlike the last one, was what you initially called out, Kaizen. No Tam Kench for Fudge. You put him on a playmaker. This guy did so much work for Cloud9 this game, zoning off multiple 2 to 3 man ultimates, damage dealing into the backline as well. I thought Fudge was very important this game. His crowd control paired with Vulcan did a lot to make Perkz and Sven's life easier.
Yeah, and honestly, besides just the picks being better overall, I think individuals players stepped up huge. I thought Lost had a great game.
He did.
I thought Lost was a huge pressure point for the team. And, this is a player who's been criticized a lot for getting caught, for being a weak link, but I think he was actually one of the stronger points for TSM this game, and he deserves commendations.
And I also do think that this brings up something that we'd already kind of touched upon with TSM, right? And it's when they do get these early game leads, and absolutely if you have a Pantheon on your team, you do need to close this out super quickly, right? Otherwise, it's just not going to go well later on, especially into this composition that C9 has. This was, I think, this is the fight from Lost, right? Yeah. This was, and props to Lost for stepping up and realizing that, he has to make this play.
Well, that's the thing, right? The margins in all of these fights are so slim. You can see how one missed skill shot, one execution mistake, or even something done incredibly well can change the tides of these fights. But as you mentioned, Crumbs, for me, this all just comes back to the resilience, the tenacity, as you say, for Cloud9, because so many teams will be staring at an Ocean Soul, will be staring at a first Elder Dragon going over and say, that's it. Hey, we tried, man. Let's go next. Let's go to game 3.
I think the moment that really displays that was when I thought it was at the same time over for Cloud9 and they immediately brought it back, which was on the push bot lane where Vulcan goes in, tries to get
blows the sums.
Double flashes get blown. He dies. The game should be over. It's going to be triple in-hit, but then what happens, Blabber and Perkz find the kill on PoE, and the game is now back to dead even. They can no longer push. TSM can't fight even numbers at the Dragon fight. I thought that was a critical moment for this game, and which is what led to these continuous fights over the Elder.
I love it too, because in this you can see the pressure that all the players are feeling in the indecision with who's gonna back and when to try and save the base.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of having a Rise, right? And also being in a situation where not only do you have the side lane advantage, you also have a 5v5 advantage. So this is basically like a checkmate, right? Because it's like either we put ourselves in a situation where Rise is splitting and he can just 1v1 anyone, or we have to go for this 5v5 because it's second Elder and we can't afford to lose that. So I think you saw here, as Emily said, if you're drafting Pantheon, you need to push the game and end it earlier. And they weren't able to, so it sort of ended up being a team comp loss as well as a team play loss.
Now, I know some people like it when the gold graphs just go up and to the right. This is my favorite kind of roll, right? This is my, yeah, exactly. I want the rises and the falls, you know? I like the peaks and the valleys.
You want to be dizzy after the game.
Exactly, right, yeah.
And by the way, TSM, still no wins on red side.
Well, then it makes sense that they chose blue side for game number 3. All right, okay. I just had to check in real quick because I was like, what, did they do something crazy by picking red side? Okay, so TSM to blue side. I mean, this is one of those times where I do start to worry a little bit about mental, right? When we talk about fatigue over a series and keeping that mental fortitude up, if you're in TSM's position, all of those players there are thinking, hey, that game could have ended 15 minutes earlier, and that could have been ours. We could be sitting one game away from Worlds qualification, and now, in fact, we are not, and it's tied up. We've afforded Cloud9 that breath of life, and so what do? How do they grab it back?
I think you're not shook. You're just having to realize that Cloud9 is actually very active in playmaking, and they're not going to just roll over. So to me, that critical moment we just talked about, respect Cloud9, right? They just have to recognize that Cloud9 still has flashes available. Your carries just blew their own. Back up. Don't give them the windows of opportunity that they could potentially use to come back. Once you respect them, you no longer have to think about whether they're going to come back or not, because if you have that advantage, you already win.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think TSM, they're probably, you know, not happy that they lost, obviously, but, like, it was a winnable game for them, and I don't think, like, I don't think the mental fortitude, I don't expect them to be super tilted or anything like that.
Okay.
I think there are some pretty easy adjustments you can do if you're going to go for a more early game focus and continue to do that. And again, like, I think for TSM specifically, it's about tightening up. How do you close out this game, right? Like, play tighter around objectives, set up around objectives a little bit better, make sure you're, like, prepping your side waves a little bit better, stuff like that.
Sweet. Well, Kaizen, I'm going to make sure I get some of your Champion Select thoughts on the other side of the break, because we will be taking it here from the analyst desk. But Cloud9, they've tied up the series. What else is there to say besides, Emily, we've got ourselves a series on our hands? I know you love that phrase right there. We'll have game 3 on the other side of this break. But first, Freaks rating another play from our community, and we'll repeat last week's 10 of 10. I don't know. We'll see. Doubtful.
Hello and welcome once again to Rate My Play, presented by Rocket. Today we're taking a look at Summoner Horrified on Hecarim. We got Horse versus Bug, and look, first things first, it's a good start. You got Mountain Soul, that's a jungle diff. Second of all, your sequencing sucks because, listen, you can break spell shield with your Q, you don't have to lose your charge and like all of your damage by popping spell shield with it, so huge mistake there. You can do it with Smite as well. Now you're not even following blast plans properly, so the COD's getting away from you. I mean, okay, second charge, you wasted the wrong time. You're not even range the guy anymore, so that's horrible. You missed another blast plant. You're walking through mushroom. I mean, do you even want to kill this guy? Or are you just like, you're getting the smite for good measure, but you really want to lose this game because, all right, finally, oh, comedy there. Walking it faster than recalling there, Kha'Zix. This is horrible for everybody. You've all screwed up massively. This is like a 0 out of 10 from both sides. The good thing is, though, you got the Dragon Soul, so better jungler, so you get 2 points. Kha'Zix gets 0. You barely get 2 because of smites, so 2 out of 10. Congrats. Better jungler wins, I hope, because objective focus is good. Anyway, thank you very much for your submission. Rocket will be hooking you up with some peripherals to help you improve because you definitely need it. And if you would like me to rate your play on air, keep an eye out on Twitter at LCS Official.